What's up, guys? You're listening to or watching another episode of Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. Things don't work because you don't. I was inspired to record this podcast episode by listening to a podcast episode from Alex Hormozi. If you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, he's one of the leaders in online business, sales, and marketing. He's written some really good books that I highly recommend to a lot of people that I talk to. But in one of his recent podcast episodes, he was talking about this topic that the business model that you may be attempting doesn't work because you don't work. And it was really eye-opening to me because I've tried tons of online business models over the years. I've gotten into blogging, YouTube channels, podcasting, courses, coaching, consulting, all sorts of different business models, drop shipping. And I would say over the past 10 years or so, in my journey, I should say, of attempting these different business models, I've learned that some of the business models that I've attempted didn't work for me, but not because there was something inherently wrong with the business model. I just wasn't capable. I wasn't skilled enough to be successful with that business model during that time in those circumstances. There's a lot of examples of this that we see, and you may be an example of this. There might be someone who starts a drop shipping business, and I was that person, where even though back in 2017, drop shipping on Shopify with AliExpress was a proven business model, I still really struggled to get sales. I really struggled to market my products. I really struggled to really scale my revenue and make a profit that was sustainable, that I could scale into a full-time income. Or you might be a fitness coach that's trying to grow your online, fitness coaching business, your Instagram account, TikTok, whatever it may be. And you might initially blame the fact that, the market's too saturated. There's too many fitness coaches on Instagram. But maybe it's just that you didn't have the deep enough understanding of the social media algorithms and what type of content and what type of programs and things were really resonating now or at the time, right, for your potential clients. So again, the main takeaway for this podcast episode, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into identifying these personal skill gaps, is that it may not be the business model that's broken, but it just may be that you are unskilled enough to be successful in that business model. And so we can apply this to Amazon, right? We're talking about Amazon FBA in this podcast, right? And in our business, in our world. And I've coached and mentored dozens of people now over the past 4 years, I could say. And I've seen people be very successful, almost, more successful than our own brand on Amazon. And I've seen other people really struggle, whether that's not even getting a product off the ground or getting a product up and selling on Amazon, but really struggling to grow that product line or grow their brand or reach profitability or be more profitable with their advertising. And in my observation of, coaching and working and mentoring all sorts of different types of people, I've seen that the skill gap of people that go through my programs plays a crucial role in your success with the business model. And that's what we're here to do, right? So with my coaching business, with our content, our resources, our programs, we're really trying to help you build the skills that you need to be successful with the business. But again, instead of blaming the business model or, blaming the program, blaming the course, and I'm not saying it has to be my course or my program, whatever it is, like maybe you took someone else's course, someone else's program, or, had another mentor at some point and it failed. Instead of blaming them, blaming the mentor, blaming the coach, the course, the whatever, or blaming that Amazon FBA is dead and doesn't work anymore, maybe you need to step back and really think, do you have the skills necessary now in 2024 to be successful with this business model? Very, very likely, if you struggled or if your business, wasn't getting the results you want, very, very likely you do not have the skills necessary. That is the reason. It's not that the course wasn't good enough, and it's not that the coach failed you, and it's not that you picked the wrong product. It's just simply that you didn't have the skills necessary. And so for some people, the skills come naturally. Maybe they're inherently born with a knack for creating a good offer, a good product, or knowing what people like and what they gravitate towards. And for other people, you may really have to work at that. So you need to do a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is something that we learned about in college in the business world. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, to really identify what are your strengths and weaknesses. Are you a tech-savvy person? Do you have an eye for design? Are you good at developing products? Are you good at identifying opportunities? Do you have an eye for branding, for content creation? All these are big parts of being successful with an Amazon brand or an e-commerce brand in general in 2024. And again, as things get more and more competitive over time, which every business does, it just means means that you have to be that much better. One of my favorite arguments in the sports world is related to the NBA. You hear all the time, the debate where you think about like the Celtics teams, Boston Celtics teams in like the 80s, or the Lakers teams, that dominated, right? We're winning championships every year. And the debate is, an average NBA team today in 2024, like let's say Charlotte or the Washington Wizards, would dominate a 8-time championship Celtics team from the 60s, simply because the athletes are bigger, faster, stronger, more skilled, more athletic than athletes were in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So just like with sports and with basketball, where these athletes, and it's the same for football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever the sport is, right? As time goes on, people get better and better and better. That's why records continue to get broken. That's why still to this day, the Olympics are coming up, right? I guarantee that this Olympics, people will set world records. And in 4 more years, more world records will be set, because just the way we continue to adapt new training techniques, new diets, new genetics, like whatever it is, the human race continues to evolve to get better, faster, stronger, and all those things. It's the same thing with business, guys. As time goes on, people, business owners, operators, entrepreneurs get better, faster, stronger in the world of business. There's more resources, there's more courses, there's more tools, there's more software, there's more things to make it easier to get better. But then at the same time, there are people who are willing to put in more time than others. So people train harder, train longer, train faster than they did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So again, like if you're not getting the results that you want, or, you're really struggling with whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be with an Amazon business. You really need to do an internal analysis, an internal audit, and ask yourself, where are your strengths and weaknesses? How can you improve your weaknesses or outsource your weaknesses? And what is it really going to take for you to be successful? You can't expect to get the same results that, like, let's say I'm a basketball player. I can't expect to get the same results that LeBron James or Steph Curry or one of these NBA guys are getting on a basketball court if I haven't put in the years and decades of work to get to where they are, to develop the skills that they have to be some of the best in the world of basketball. So don't expect, just because you see a coach or a mentor or a course or someone else, and I'm not just Amazon, anything, drop shipping, I don't care what the business model is, real estate, just because someone else out there is getting crazy, insane results, or really good results, I guess, that you're entitled to those same results by simply doing the business. You have to be good enough. You have to develop the skills to be good enough. A good way to see where your weaknesses are or where your limitations are is to ask for feedback. Seek feedback from friends, from family members, from peers, from colleagues, from coaches, from mentors. In the world of sports, that's how we get better, is by getting feedback. That's why we have coaches. And that's why even the best in the game, like Wimbledon for tennis is going on, and all of these dudes, Novak Djokovic, like the best tennis players in the world, these guys have won 20 majors and they have a coach. You might think like, why do they need a coach? They've made it. Like these dudes are the best in the game. Like what could they possibly need coaching on? They're always looking for the next competitive edge. Golfers, Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods, all the best golfers in the world, they all have coaches, swing coaches. And in a lot of instances, I find this really interesting. Their coaches are guys that you've never heard of. Their coaches are not like 10-time Masters winners. Like Tiger Woods' swing coach is like some dude that just is really good at teaching people how to swing a golf club. Dude's probably never won a PGA tournament in his life. I don't even know if he ever played on the PGA Tour, honestly. And it's the same thing for these tennis coaches and basketball coaches. Like some of the best basketball coaches in the world weren't that great basketball players themselves. I mean, they were okay, but it's not like they were the Michael Jordans of basketball before they became a head coach. So don't neglect the power of feedback and coaching. And you need to be open to it. You need to be open to say, I'm not good enough right now, or I need to get better in these areas. Take some time to self-reflect as well. I try to do this and really self-reflect because as a full-time entrepreneur, I fall into the habit of thinking, I know what I'm doing. When you get a little bit of success, and hopefully you're experiencing some, or hopefully someday soon you start to experience some success in your online business endeavors. But the minute you start to experience some success, I'm not gonna lie, it'll get to your head a little bit. It'll get to your head to where you're like, dang, I'm good at this. And it's kind of that delicate balance of imposter syndrome where you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't deserve to be doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. But then on the flip side, you also feel those, kind of that sense of accomplishment of, yeah, I know how to do it. I don't need help. I don't need to listen to anyone else. I know what I'm doing. I'm making money. We're doing good. So take some time to really self-reflect, journal if you have to, and write down your thoughts on where can I get better? What do I need to improve? How am I spending my time? And that'll really help you identify again some of those places where you can make some improvements. Now, to develop the necessary skills, there's all sorts of places you can go, right? When we're talking about online business, Amazon, obviously I've already mentioned we have courses, programs, and things to help you guys, but seek education wherever you can. Watch some YouTube videos, read some blogs, find a coach, go to a class, watch events. Like, I'm gonna go back to sports because you guys know this, I love sports. But when I was growing up, I played baseball and basketball in high school. But I loved every sport. But I loved watching sports, watching football, watching basketball, watching baseball on TV or in person, right? Going to a game, because I wanted to really watch the best of the best, or at least guys who were better than me, right? College even, and see how they played the game and take away skills and ideas. Like, I know kids are still doing this today where they're watching basketball players and they're seeing Steph Curry, do a move, a spin move, a Euro step, whatever the move is. And then they go out in the backyard and practice it. That's exactly what we did as kids. We watched the best basketball players in the world. We saw what they did, the moves they did, the skills they had, and we went in the backyard and replicated it and practiced it. And that's how we got better. So watch people, see what they do, learn from brands. One of my favorite episodes I've done all time is go shopping. If we're talking e-commerce, go shopping, look on the shelves. How do people package their products? What catches your attention? What kind of colors? What kind of styles? What kind of photos? What kind of content are they putting out? Like, really be a student of the game if you want to be in the game. Now, I want to wrap up this episode by talking about how to overcome the challenges and stay motivated throughout this process, because it can be pretty discouraging to, get into an online business like Amazon, right? And start the process and feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in way over my head. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have the skills to be successful with this. And then that self-doubt starts to creep in. Kind of the three common challenges that I see from entrepreneurs in my Amazon ecosystem, but also in other online businesses from, interacting and engaging with people. The challenge of time management. I understand that a lot of us have a lot of other responsibilities. When I started my entrepreneur journey, I had a full-time job. I had to balance a full-time job. I had to balance my relationship, my marriage. I was married. Then I had to balance having a baby. Now I have 2 kids, both boys, both toddlers. They're crazy as can be. And so I have to manage my time of getting my work done, doing what I have to do, making sure I'm spending time with my kids, making sure I'm giving time to my wife. I have a house, so I got to, take care of the house, mow the lawn, clean the house, do the chores, wash the dishes, cook the food, do all that kind of stuff, right? So I have to really, really learn how to manage time. And that's something I see a lot of people struggle with, especially when you're trying to get into the world of running your own business and being an entrepreneur. You probably have kids, you probably have a job, you probably have a spouse or a partner or someone, right? You have other responsibilities, most likely. So really, really getting good at managing your time effectively and being efficient with your time when you are doing something, that is going to be very critical to your success. So learn how to be organized, plan, be efficient, and know when to work and when to take breaks. That's another skill set that I'm still deeply, deeply working on, because you're going to be much better off doing really, really good deep work for a set amount of time and then resting than you are just like half working, half resting, being kind of productive all the time. Second big challenge that I see a lot of times with people is lack of resources. This is a huge one in the world of Amazon because of lack of resources. Number one would likely be finances, right? Money. You don't got the money, you don't got the capital, the cash to really make this successful. And this is something that I see a lot of people struggle with. They get into this business model with not enough cash, not enough capital, not enough resources. So they're expecting the results of a brand that's invested $100,000 to get their brand launched and developed and sampled and ordered and ads and marketing and content. And so when they start their brand with $1,000 and they're not getting those results, they're like, well, the business model's broken, the business model doesn't work. No, you did not execute the business model at that level. Like, you can't expect to be as good of a basketball player as Steph Curry if you're shooting basketball, you're shooting hoops outside for 10 minutes a month and you've been shooting for like 3 months. No, you're not going to shoot as good as Steph Curry. So understand that lack of capital, lack of cash, that is going to limit your potential with any business, guys, with any business. But that's not the only type of resource, right? So there's lack of resources of kind of this, I guess, kind of trickles into the time management thing is you might lack time. You might simply lack time. You might lack help. You might need help because you don't have the skill set and you don't have the time to learn the skill set. You don't have the talent to develop the skill set. I don't know, but you don't have the help. You don't have the team. You don't have the, employee, whatever it is, the contractor, the agency, the coach, whatever it is to help you get to where you need to get to. That is a common challenge. Or the lack of resources. You might not have the equipment. You might not have the education, the books, the coaching, the courses, the programs, the resources to gain the skills that you need, or the tools even, like the software, the Jungle Scout, to get the information you need to make educated business decisions. And then again, that third common challenge I see, and honestly, this is one that will never go away, I hate to break it to you guys, is self-doubt. So many people doubt themselves the minute a challenge arises. And I am very guilty of this too, guys. Like, it has not been all rainbows and butterflies over the past, 5 years or so that I've been a full-time entrepreneur. There are really, really tough times where I literally wake up and I tell my wife, I'm like, I have no idea what to do. No idea what I'm doing. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what the next step is. And you just feel like so lost in your business journey. Or you might have times, weeks, days, months, years even, where revenue is down, profits down, income's down, and you start to really freak out and say like, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? I don't know where to go from here. Like, is it dying? Do I need to switch? Do I need to pivot? Like, there's so many ebbs and flows as an entrepreneur that you have to learn to deal with. And something that I think I've realized recent time from when I first started trying to do entrepreneurship over the last 8 years is whenever that self-doubt started to creep in, like those days where you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm unmotivated. I don't know what to do today. I feel so lost and hopeless with whatever project or business you're working on. Instead of really panicking in those moments and like trying to push through, because that's what I used to do in the early days. Whenever I feel those days of self-doubt, or I really just try to force myself to get up, Andy, get through it, and just push my way through it. But realizing it's okay to step back. It's okay to step back. What you don't want to do though is just go into a downward spiral of unmotivation. The times, so kind of going into this overcoming these challenges, right? Time management, lack of resources, self-doubt. Because I've experienced all these. I continue to experience all of them, through different cycles and phases. I go through different phases. My wife knows this. Understanding the phase that you're in. Understanding that you may be in a phase of time management. I've gone through phases where I don't have time this week. And then I've also gone through phases where I don't have the capital. I don't have the cash in my bank account to do that project or run those ads or do what it is. And then there's other days and times, weeks, whatever it is, days where I'm feeling the self-doubt. I'm feeling unmotivated. I'm feeling like I don't know what to do, lack of direction. I don't feel super hopeful in what I'm working on or that it's going to work. Doubt, right? Understand the phase that you're in. Acknowledge it. Journal it. Ponder on it. Meditate on it. And just accept that you are in that phase, but understand that that phase will pass. That phase will pass. I was talking to a friend about this at the gym. They were coming to the gym early, and I was too. I was on that gym grind where I'm at the gym at 6 a.m. every morning. They were at the gym at 6 a.m. every morning. And then I hadn't seen this person for a month at the gym. And I finally saw them at the gym a couple weeks ago, for the first time in forever. And I was like, whoa, hey-o. And it was actually a day that I was working out a little bit later. So I think they were on the same, hey, I'm not going at 6 a.m. I'm now coming at 8 or 9. And so that's when I was there and I saw him and I was like, oh, hey, you're at a later gym time now. I haven't seen you in the mornings recently. And they were like, yeah, it's been tough, kids, going through some difficult times and whatnot. And so getting to bed late, hard to get up, get yourself out of bed early. And I was like, you know what? I get it. I totally go through those phases too. And kind of what I said was accept the phase that you're in and be okay with it. Don't beat yourself up. The worst thing that we can do as entrepreneurs or as humans really is what I think is beat ourselves up for the phase that we're going through and thinking that it's not normal. It's very normal. It's very normal to go through downtimes, to be depressed, to lack the motivation. You're a human if you're feeling that way at some point or another. So accept the phase that you're in, understand that it's going to pass, and take a break. If you need a break, take a break and then come back. If you need to, spend time outside in nature, go on a vacation, do what you got to do, but take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and understand that, it's a phase, it's going to pass and you're going to get through it. I'll end with this because we could talk on this topic, I feel like all day, but find the things that get you out of your funk. If we're talking about, again, kind of wrapping up with these challenges, I don't got the time, I don't got the resources, I'm doubting myself, what I'm doing. I feel like with most things, at least this is just me speaking personally, with most challenges that I go through, I feel like there's my one go-to thing that I always turn to get out of a specific funk. So if I'm in a funk of motivation, I am not motivated, I do not want to work today, I am feeling super lazy, I'm just doom scrolling on Instagram. When I'm in those type of funks, I have a few go-tos. One of my go-tos is I use an app that blocks my phone, because when I am in those unmotivated stages of my life or those days I find myself gravitating towards social media and I will doom scroll on Instagram and it just makes me feel so sick when you just scroll and you just hit that dopamine until your dopamine receptors are just so dead. You just feel so brain dead and discouraged and unmotivated and lazy and tired. It just drains your energy. I use my app and I block all my social media apps. Another thing I like to do is when I'm feeling unmotivated, I have a go-to podcast / YouTube channel that I listen to that's just pure motivation. motivation. They're just like these kind of hype motivation. I get that it's kind of gimmicky, but for me, it works. For me, it helps me reset my mindset, because a lot of motivation, guys, is just simply your framing of your mindset. And it helps me reframe my mindset of, I can do this. I am motivated. I'm on this path. It helps you find the gratitude of what you've been able to achieve or where you're at in your life and say, you know what? I'm ready to get back up and get back to work. So find those things, guys, that help you when you're in that funk. One more that I just thought of, because this is actually kind of the basis of this episode. I was going through a phase where I didn't know what I was going to record for my podcast episodes. And I was like, man, I have no ideas. I don't know what I'm going to record. And I'm just feeling, I go through that funk where like, I've already recorded everything. I don't know what else to record. This isn't going to be valuable. And when I go through those phases of self-doubt, or like, maybe we'll just call it like non-direction, where I don't know what to do. I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my business. I don't know what needs to change. I don't know how to improve it. And when I go through those phases, my go-to is to listen to other podcasts. Because there's times at the gym in the morning where I like to listen to music. And I go through those phases. Some phases, I'll go weeks where I only listen to music. And I'll go through like a rock phase, a rap phase, a EDM phase. But again, when I'm in a funk where I'm lacking direction for my business, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to try, I feel like nothing's working, that's where I go to my go-to podcasts. Alex Hormozi, How I Built This, Gary Vaynerchuk. Those are my three of my top go-tos, where it's like, okay, I'm not listening to music at the gym this week or today. I'm listening to a podcast. And that's what really helps me get new ideas, new direction, and kind of pick up my motivation of, here's what you need to do in your business. So find those little things that help you get out of those different funks or overcome those little challenges that you may face. Understand it's a phase and you're going to overcome it. But at the core, getting back to the core topic of the episode, wrap things up, guys, it is possible. It is possible. You can do it. You can do it. Whatever it is, whatever the business is, just remember, guys, if there's other people out there doing it, you can do it too. But understand that it might take a little bit more work and effort for you to do it successfully than it takes other people that you're seeing post about it on social media or whatnot. So you may just be unskilled enough right now. So develop the skills, work on your skills, gain the knowledge, whatever you need to be successful with that business, but you can make it happen. Guys, once again, I'm Andy. You're listening to Selling on Amazon with Andy Isom. We'll see you in the next episode.